In this video, I want to set up the details for a given product to be shown within a modal. My name is Kenny. This is Tech Talk with RHT Services, and I'm still working on building out this hair website like what you see here. What I want to do is, instead of showing the product details in the actual section of the page, and just to show you what it previously looked like, I will go back and change it to what it previously was. So instead of having this large amount of text here, what I want to do is to potentially set this so that it only shows or has details in addition to the modal. The details that you see here show up in a modal. All right, so let's change this back to, that's back. All right, so we'll change that back to details. And then using what is available on the Bootstrap website, they have this button here that you can open a modal with. All right, so what I want to do is to have a simple modal. I don't think I need a large one. So maybe I'll just use this one here. So let's just copy this as an example. And so I put all of my modals towards the bottom of the page. And the reason being is that way they are, at least in some kind of way, organized. All right, so we'll call this product detail modal. And the name is product detail. Whoops. And that there, and then also product detail. All right, so close, modal body. Don't need to save changes, just need to close it. And this should be brown. All right, so the modal body will contain the product information. So coming over to the Bootstrap website, you have the ability to take the same three elements here and be able to use them on multiple or the same element and be able to use it in multiple locations. All right, so what I'm gonna do is to set a breakpoint right there, so I'm able to easily get back to where I'm coming back to, because I'm doing a lot of scrolling back and forth to complete this out. All right, so company, that is the footer. Actually, this is a that's an alert. I guess that can stay there. I probably need to move that too, come to think of it. Let me actually go ahead and move it below the footer as well. So modals and alerts go down below. All right, so let's copy that again. And so come back up to the products. I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. And what I want to do is I'm gonna comment that out. And then I'm going to do a div. Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Let's uncomment that, and let's see. So I need, so for each one of these, data whatever. So it's saying data whatever. All right, so I need a data detail, and that will be product dot description. All right, and so then data detail would be product.description. And then coming down to this portion here, this needs to go into the JavaScript file that I have. And so what I need to do, so I'm gonna go to the end of this. I'm gonna stick it down here at the bottom, and I may need to change that at some point as I go through the process. All right, so the data detail on the element. So the element is going to be data target. Okay, so data target. And if you notice, I'm not using a button. What I want to use is a link. And so that's why it is going to be different. All right, so data target will be, and it shouldn't be ID. I don't think it needs to be ID. It needs to be ID product. yeah. Okay, so that's correct. Product detail modal. So data targets breakpoint. So we do that. Product detail modal. That's modal. And then we have our other data attribute with this data detail. Okay. All right. So back over here in the JavaScript file, Going to change this to show the modal, and then we want to do data detail. I believe that's what I named that. Yeah, data detail. And then in the modal title, I want to set modal.find, and in that modal, I want to find the, we'll say, I'll do a div class modal title. Excuse me, modal. Actually, that should not be class. That should be a. Is that a class? Yeah, that is a class. All right, so class. Actually, no. Let's do this. So inside of that modal, we'll do modal body. So we'll do dot modal body, and then the inner text of the modal body will be equal to the, and in this case it's recipient. What I'm going to do is name it detail. And then we're also going to change these to let, because this does not need to be used outside of this method. And then this one also needs to become detail. All right, so we'll do that, and semicolon that, format the file to correct any issues, related target, product modal detail, data detail. Okay, modal, oh, gotta use that. All right, so that should be correct, and that should be correct. So if I click details, it's not working. Okay, so where are we going? Back up here to 108. Got details, and I may need to do href and target itself. All right, so now we got a link. If we click that link, this goes back to the top. Okay, so let's pull up the console, see if there are any errors here. There are no errors in the console. All right, and so that's not doing exactly what we want. And maybe there is a reason behind why there's a button there instead of a link. All right, so data detail. So the text is there in the data detail. I think I'm also missing the elements here for data toggle modal. All right, so add that in, put space there and add that in. All right, now if we come back. All right, so we got the modal title. It doesn't have the details for some reason. Okay, all right, so we're getting somewhere, making progress. All right, so the modal body, so dot modal body of this particular element, format, scroll back down to here, so modal body. So we have the product detail, get the data detail from the data dash attribute, and then let modal is referring to the current object, modal body referring to that. And so let's see, let's come back here because I saw something that said modal title. All right, so there we go. So let's do product detail, and then here will be in the modal body class, define modal dash body, which is that, and it should show the text in there. So it's inner text. Yeah, find that. I believe that's correct. Sure. Well, this one says dot text. Interesting. So we'll do detail like that. Okay. So let's see if that works. So if we come here and click that, there we go. All right. So obviously, this here is a bit of more so of a jQuery type setup, and so for that reason, it's structured a little bit different in how that does that. All right. So the product detail, and I actually probably want to put the name of the product in the detail up there instead of that. Whoops. So if we click hair oil, aeration rehydrate, click that one, achieve your desired hairstyle. Okay. So let's come back to this here. So in the detail link itself, which is back up here, So I want the data target, I want the data detail, and then I want the data name equal to product.name. And let's format that. Let's see, it should wrap, and we'll put the div on the line by itself. Format. Okay. All right. So now I want to take the data name out of here, and so that will become modal. Come on, modal BAL find dot modal title dot text, and then that will be the name. And then here I'm going to do let name is equal to button dot data name. All right, and so back on the page, or I think that's it. Okay, so now if it should have already refreshed. So if I click this, you get the heading or the name of the product, and then you get the option to close. And then so hair mask, okay, hair oil, got it. And so if I click details, hair accessories, so forth. All right, so I think that is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm probably going to reorganize some of this stuff in the bottom here of the footer of the modal, but overall, I think this will actually carry or do what it needs to do. And I'll probably add some, like if the details are a lot more elaborate, I'll probably want to, let's go get some dummy text to stick in here. Actually, I think I got some already on the page. Let's copy this block here. And then in the configuration of one of these items, let's take that and put that in there. All right, so save. So I put that on hair serum. And so if I come back up to, where's hair serum? There we go. So you click details, you get a longer block. And that's what I'm thinking it needs to do with the additional detail of these products. And that way, all that detail is not just there in your face and difficult to read. The additional detail is thrown into a modal, and then you're still able to see the products and, you know, get the products that you want to. But if you want to see that more information, you could then open this modal and see that additional information. And that way it's not cluttering the page with all of that information. Now you're probably asking, why am I doing this? And I probably should answer this earlier in the video. Why am I doing this way with the details being put into a modal instead of on a separate page? Yes, I would have put it onto a separate page normally. However, the customer specifically requested that she wanted a single page website. So she wants everything on this one page. Now, there are no restrictions on the number of modals you can create. That said, though, you want to be able to, you know, be reasonable with the modals because you don't want to put everything in a modal. However, you do want to have this one page, or the customer does want to have this one page. So putting some of the additional information like the shipping policy and the return policy and so forth into a modal will allow that additional information to be available. But if it needs to be, you know, it allow that additional information to be available, but then not always show it so that it doesn't clutter up the web page. That being said, if you have any comments or questions, drop those down below. I'll be glad to answer them in a future video. As always, please be sure to like and give me a thumbs up, and also follow and subscribe, because without you, there's no sense in me making this content, and I don't know if you're interested in this content if you don't like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to come back and check out the next video in the series.